Okay, we're back. It's been a couple of days since we were last with you. What has gone on since then?
A lot. We're in the middle of a whole bunch of projects, and they don't always end on time, but the Paprika project is kind of a fun one this year. We've got a lot of different varieties, and they're dry now, so we want to show you how they turned out. But let's walk back and talk about the whole process so that we know how we got here.
So, number one, we're trialing a whole bunch of different varieties, but the process in general is after they're perfectly ripe, we pick them, we wash them, we slice them open, we remove the seeds because that can contain a little bit, some of them, they're more bitter and stuff.
And they make a mess, frankly, when you put them on the smoker and they start to dry, all the seeds fall out, and I put them in the dehydrator, more seeds fall out. It's just easier for cleanup.
Yeah, so we smoked them for a few hours. I don't know, it can go 3-6 hours, whatever is convenient. And then
you want to do that on a pretty low temperature. So when we're putting it on the smoker, what am I looking for?
We go about as low as our smoker will run, which is about 180 degrees. So 180, 170, 190, whatever is low, that will still get smoke. And we will leave them on long enough to really have the smoke infuse into the peppers, but without them getting burnt.
Yeah, we don't want them to burn. And some of them, like our Leutschauer with the really thin skins, dried and were ready earlier. Our Tennessee cheese pepper with those really thick, fleshy sides, they were still really soft when we put them in the dehydrator.
Yeah, so when we were done with that, we stuck them in the dehydrator, put it at 125 degrees, and ran it until everything was dry, which
is important. So when you're drying peppers to grind it into powder, you want them to be totally crisp. They should snap when you break them. They should almost shatter.
Yeah.
They've got to be totally dry. Otherwise, it'll turn to mush, and it won't be a light and loose, lovely powder.
Yeah. So we have just pulled everything off. We've got 4 trays. I don't remember how many we trialed, about a dozen different varieties. So what do we do with them next?
So the next portion of this project is that we're going to grind them up. I've got a little spice grinder here, and this works really well for a small batch. If you were doing a really big batch, you could put them in a blender. If I was going to mix these all together, I'd probably just put it in like the blender. Although it did turn the sides of my blender totally red.
It stained your blender the one time that we did that, and it's still red even years later.
Yeah. So you want to break them up just a little bit, put them in your spice grinder. It'll run a little bit loud, but we get a really good grind off of this. And you just kind of run them through. You don't want to open the lid because all that pepper powder.
you open it up and everything that's still dust in the air will come nicely into your nose and lungs.
We made cayenne pepper earlier this summer, and I was like, oh, that burns. And you'll start to smell it even though it's all in there. But as soon as it's all ground up into powder, what we're going to do is we're going to put them in these jars, and then we're going to compare and see if we can taste a difference with the dried ones. And like in the color, did the flavor improve from where we tasted it fresh, or not? So which ones are really powerful? Because sometimes what tastes like a really good fresh pepper might be too mild to be a paprika pepper.
Yep, very true.
We want to know which ones are going to work all the way through. All these peppers had a really good, rich flavor, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they do dried. So should we get to it?
Okay.
Let's see how we get. We'll meet you again when we have them all in powder form.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so that was a room clearing experience. The pepper powder is starting to get to me. Got a mask now for some of our hotter peppers as we continue.
So we're back. What did you learn from that experience?
Okay, 2 things. 1, I just rubbed my eyes and it burns a little. 2, the air in here smells a lot like spicy paprika peppers. So I think we'll taste test it outside after my eyes stop burning. So even dry peppers can hurt your eyes.
Yep.
So we'll meet you outside.
So, have you recovered from the dust that was created when all these things were ground?
It's a thing when you're doing peppers. 1, we're drying them in the garage because even when they're drying down, they're creating kind of a thick atmosphere.
Yeah, you cannot dry any kind of spicy peppers on the inside. It will just coat the inside of the house like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, and doing this many varieties in a row with the open and the shut, it was on my face. We have the air purifier running, but we're here. We're gonna taste test them and see what we like.
Okay.
So
what did we do? So we're not just gonna eat straight pepper because I'm pretty sure after the first one we can't taste anything. So we made a little mixture of.
This is mayonnaise this is 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise and a 1/4 teaspoon of the pepper powder.
Okay.
We saw that on America's Test Kitchen somewhere, and I was like, that'll work. You're gonna make an egg salad sandwich or deviled eggs. You're gonna put your paprika in, mayonnaise is in there. Hopefully that'll tone down the spice a little bit so we can taste some of the nuance.
Yeah, hopefully be able to really taste the flavor of it, which is what our goal is.
Which is what we want to do. So right off, there was a big difference in color. Color. Some of these stayed really, really red. Some of them not so much.
And some of them, like the Gypsy, was a yellow pepper, so we did not expect that one to be red.
Yeah, this is kind of our. This is just a regular.
It's kind of a
pepper.
It's a generally a bell pepper, but somebody, when I had asked for what everybody's favorite paprika peppers were, somebody said Gypsy, so I thought we'd give it a try.
It does not make a really red paprika, but it might taste amazing.
Yep.
So how do you want to do it?
But they range, like you said, everywhere from really dark red to almost yellowish. A lot are just kind of a bland orange, yellow, burnt-ish type of color. But I'm not going to be too picky on color. I'm picky on flavor.
Well, but it is one of the things about paprika. So who do you think was our winner just based on color and color alone? Who are our standouts for
red? I kind of have to get this a little closer if we're going to be able to look inside and see. So in terms of bright red, the black Hungarian, which I don't even think we had trialed that one as a paprika pepper,
surprise.
but
it
had put it in with the jalapeños, even though it's not a jalapeno. But
it was bright red and it tasted a lot like our other Hungarian peppers, so we tried it.
Absolutely. Utri is a very bright red. What's this one right here?
Kardoula, your favorite from last time.
The flaming death pepper that
delicious.
It just got me. I don't know what else to say.
Might be your favorite today.
NuMex R Naky was really a dark, a brightish red, and then the Szegedi 179.
Yeah.
So everything else was just kind of a little less spicy from there, or less
red,
less bright red.
Okay. So are you ready to taste them?
Did you put these in any kind of order?
I did not. Would you like them in order?
Well, it would have been nice to have grouped the sweets, the milds, and the hots together.
Oh, roulette. We play surprise.
Okay, Russian roulette with flavor.
With Hungarian peppers. Okay, so here we have...
I'm just going to ask that the Szeged be last, because I don't know that I'll taste anything after that.
The cheat sheet, so that you know which one. This is Kapia.
Okay, Kapia.
What do you remember from this one? I think it was a sweet one.
So Kapia is one that is from Turkey, I believe, and has no heat, supposedly.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful pepper. Let's see what it tastes like. All dried out. You should taste some smokiness. You should taste some of that rich fruitiness. You can get that depth of flavor.
That is really good. That has a real depth of flavor to it. Kapia, I really like that.
That was fantastic.
I'm a fan of that flavor.
I can't remember what we said. Tasting it fresh. That is.
I would grow that again in a heartbeat for that kind
delicious.
of a flavor.
You get the smokiness, the sweetness, a ton of flavor. And I did mix these a little thicker than you would probably normally put on a deviled egg or something. but I don't even mind. It's fantastic.
So I'm going to give that one, and I don't know what else to compare it to. I'm saying 5 stars on my notes.
Yeah, 5 stars
for a Swedish.
It is not as bright as red as some of the others.
Nope.
But the flavor on that is fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
So if are we just going to go through and
we can just go through
random? Okay. So what's next?
Lipstick.
Okay, lipstick. This is one that we've grown for a lot of years and is generally a sweet pepper, but it's not the sweetest sweet pepper. So we've always struggled to figure out where
does it fit, and
where does that fit in?
And it's kind of giving me meh red here, but maybe it tastes fantastic in this application.
So
So. Actually, that's not bad.
I'd say that's pretty good too.
It's not quite as powerful with the undertones as this one. Maybe a touch sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's similar flavor but sweeter.
Yeah.
As Kapia.
It's not quite as intense as the Kapia is, but it's not bad. As a paprika pepper,
it's way better than I expected. I can see why somebody recommended that one.
Yeah, and it said in the catalog it was good for northern gardens. So maybe if you were, because some of these peppers take a longer season to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is one you could get away with. And I like this taste test a lot better than the fresh one. Way less dangerous. No heat on that at all.
No heat at all.
No heat at all. I'm going to give that 4 stars because Kapia is my new gold standard.
Yeah, so pretty good. Okay, what's next?
So this is Gypsy, and we just talked about this. This isn't actually technically a paprika pepper. This is a cross between a sweet Italian and a bell pepper. And you can pick them in any range of colors, from the creamy colors, and they'll go kind of orange to red at the end. People really like this one. It is not a super red paprika pepper, but we didn't start with the super red version. We picked it kind of still yellowish. I think what I'm learning from this experience is that I love paprika.
I was just going to say the same thing. I'm like, I haven't yet had one I don't like. So,
okay, despite the color that we started with, it has some really good flavor.
And I like that.
And the smoking of that, for all 3 of these so far, brings out so much flavor that we didn't have when it was fresh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how would you rate that one? I'm
gonna give it a 4, like lipstick.
You're gonna call it a 4?
I'm gonna call it a 4.
I'm gonna say it's a 4.5. But
you're gonna give it a 4.5?
So we'll average that 4.25.
For science, exactly.
So I'm impressed. That was
really good.
That was better than I expected.
Neither of those 2 are ones that I was like particularly fond of fresh. I was kind of like, they're okay.
I agree.
But you add the smoking, you add...
We may find out that anything that we smoke tastes good, so we will see.
This is probably true too. Okay, so next is the Tennessee cheese pepper.
Okay.
If you remember these little flat, really thick-walled peppers, we got a bunch of them. You'll see there's more paprika powder here.
Yield-wise, we got way more off of the same bucket of plants.
Yeah, that one did really good. I believe the pepper is originally from Spain, but found somewhere in Tennessee.
Yep.
Is that kind of the story?
Something like that. So
it is a beautiful red color. Those really thick walls. I'm hoping they absorbed a lot of that smoke and that we're just going to get lots of flavor out of that.
Okay.
And you do.
It is very good.
It's mild though.
But it's more mild.
Mm-hmm.
So not near as pizzazz as some of these others.
Yeah, the Kapia I think still has the winner for me on that richness of flavor. But the color on this is our strongest red so far.
Yeah. So where would you put that one? Is that maybe a 3? Just I'm gonna say a 3. What would you say?
I'll do a 3.5 because the color is really, really good. If you were just going on color, I'm gonna sprinkle some on my deviled eggs and you want the pretty color, it has to be in the first spot so far.
For color, yeah.
But for flavor, it's on the really mild. You're not getting as much of that flavor.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Up next is
it's Hungarian Boldog.
Yep, Hungarian Boldog.
Okay. And if we look at the powder here, it's not as productive in my garden so far, but we've had a busy summer and some of my garden is growing by neglect. It is a nicer, redder color.
Yeah, sample size of 1 bucket is not statistically significant for
depending on the flavor,
yield.
We will try this again and pay more attention.
Okay. Let's do a little extra mixing. Make sure we don't get like straight powder on a spoon.
This one's not hot though.
So it's considered spicy or sweet with a hint of spicy.
With a hint of spicy.
That is a really good description.
It is. You get the smoky, and the spice is not anything in mayonnaise that is going to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's just, it's got a little punch.
But it is more sweet than any of the others with that just tiny little zing on the tip of your tongue. That's wild.
Okay. This is like my new favorite thing to eat. This is fantastic. Why didn't we try the other peppers this way?
I know. Okay, so
I'm gonna have to give that a 4 or 4.5.
You're gonna do 4.5. I'm gonna put that in as a 5. So we'll average 4.75.
Okay.
That was.
I think I still like the Kapia better, but this.
I'd maybe have to compare.
You'd have to compare.
I'm not sure
we'll come back to that one. Okay. This is fun.
Okay, next one up, Black Hungarian.
Okay, so you didn't see this one when we taste tested them raw. It would be in our jalapeno video because we grouped it with the salsa peppers. This one grows kind of like a jalapeno.
It is shaped like a jalapeno.
Shaped like a jalapeno. It's supposed to have heat like a jalapeno. You don't eat it when it's green. Its green is kind of a black color, hence the name. But when it turns red, it gets these super berry-like flavors.
And it's a very, very pretty red, and it translates into very pretty red.
Yeah. And so we loved it from our jalapeno taste test, and I thought, well, let's just try it and see what it does. It's also from Hungary. Could be spicy. It is. Oh, that is fantastic. So like, I know you're gonna need water, but like a Chipotle, like when you go to Subway and you're like, I want a mayonnaise that has a little kick to it, like a Chipotle mayo.
Yeah, that tastes like going to Chipotle and getting there.
You get the smokiness, but you get that really good pepper flavor. That's a really good combo between paprika and Chipotle.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. And yes, it is spicy, but it's not knock your.
That's the first one that we've had that had any real warmth. That's a 5 for me. That's a 5. I would put that just like that on a sandwich and be totally
I'm gonna call
happy.
It mildly spicy, and it's going to average as a 5. I'm impressed. That's really good.
Really good, and it's easy to grow. We had a bunch on it.
Let's turn this thing around. Okay.
Okay. Which way do you want to start? You want to end on that one? That one I know is going to be spicy for you.
So let's go over here. So Utri, heirloom brought to us by Rose Utri, is another one from Hungary. Medium hot, depending on how much ribbing is left in. So
if you were like when we talked about how we made the paprika, and we take off the stem, and I usually take out the seeds because they make a mess, but there's that interior ribbing, and you can leave that on if you want more heat. That's where most of the heat hangs out. And in this case, I think I took most of it out, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of peppers.
In terms of a red, that's gorgeous
paprika.
Almost glows in the sun. We got a little bit of
Yeah.
A speckled shade behind us
So
here.
really good red. We really liked it fresh.
And it's one of the fullest cups, and so apparently yielded well for us.
It yielded well. If it tastes good all around winter, we might have to up our rankings.
I'm trying to get a little chunk off so I don't end up taking a bite of just pepper.
I love that. It is not as hot as the Black Hungarian, but there is a little punch of spiciness to that. It kind of, it just kind of blossoms.
Yeah.
But it has a really, I don't know, how do you describe that? Like sort of a creamy smokiness to it. It's really smooth. It's really a smooth flavor, but you get that spice and that depth, but it's just kind of like,
that's really good.
That's really good. It's hard to tell them apart.
We have to refigure our scale. I don't know that everything can be a 5.
Well, this one needs to be a 5+ because it hit all the things. It is red. It has really good flavor. It yielded well. It was easy to work with when I was working with them.
And I don't know that when you said it's not quite as spicy as a
Black
Hungarian, I would say it started lower and it's starting to it just kind of builds a little bit on that one.
Yeah, I think it is building, but I think the Black Hungarian has the potential to be hotter.
Okay.
To be hotter.
Nope, that's fair. I will take a little drink after that one.
Okay.
A little bit of sweat, but that's really good flavor.
It's really good.
Okay.
Okay.
Next one up, apple crisp.
So
apple crisp. I'm looking for your notes
fresh
here.
Fresh eating. This was my favorite. It's from South America.
Yep, it's a Becketum.
And it had little apple notes underneath. It was really crunchy, really thick-walled.
The crispiest pepper I think I've ever eaten.
Yeah. And I've eaten them sitting here waiting for this. This is just really good. It has a little bit of spice to it, maybe 400 to 1,000. Not much, but a little bit of warmth. Let's see. The color is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not as red as some of the others.
It's kind of a burnt orange.
But it's a really rich color.
Yeah.
So it's not washed out. Some of them are like brown or whatever. Okay.
I probably like that one better as a fresh one than.
That's what I was gonna say. It's way more mild than I thought it was gonna be. You're not getting the same. You're losing a lot from the freshness.
Yeah. To me, that's the first one that I could say I tasted the mayo through it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one is my favorite fresh eating of the paprikas, but it is probably a 3 on paprika. I'm getting the smokiness. I'm not getting any of the fruitiness. There's not really a kick of heat in that.
So you're going to call it a 3. I'll call it a 2. I'm writing down an average of 2.5.
Okay.
Awesome fresh. I don't know that we will smoke them again.
Okay, going back up again. This is Leutschauer.
Leutschauer, and that was another super productive one.
Yeah, this one, and it was really easy to work with. It was really easy to grind. It's got thinner walls, and so it flaked. It was easier to grind up. It came together as a powder.
Yep, so that one was from Slovakia, brought to Hungary in the 1800s. Considered a spicy one.
And it's a nice bright color. It's probably not our brightest one, but
it's more of a burnt orange, kind of pretty similar to apple crisp.
It's a little darker than apple crisp.
Yeah, just slightly darker. Okay.
You want a big? I'll let you get your own.
Yeah.
Make sure we got it all mixed up in there. Okay. Wow. Go. No. That was good. Wow.
That is really good flavor.
Really intense. Really good. It's got some spice on it. This was again up there with the like chipotle flavor. where you get that spicier, smokier flavor, that would be excellent.
Yeah, that's really good, and it's productive based on
And
how full
productive.
our cup
Yeah.
is. So that's
Wow. Okay.
So sounds like you're gonna rate that like a 2 or something.
No, that's way up there.
And that's
That
another 5.
yeah, 5+ on that one.
5+. We're gonna have to shift our scale. Very good. Very good.
That was really.
And it's mildly spicy. I don't know that I can differentiate that from the Utri at this point, which is another 5+.
Yeah, we probably should taste those compared to each other, but that one hit me with such a burst of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But not in a bad way.
Yeah. Same. So let's skip that one.
You want to skip
we'll end with that one.
We'll skip with the hot one right now. Okay, so
NuMex R Naky. So, from New Mexico, and has a extremely bright red color rating.
yeah, this probably has the darkest of the reds of anything we've got on the table. Maybe the Szegedi is about the same.
Yeah.
This one's maybe a little oranger. Maybe that one's a little redder.
Yeah, Szegedi is a little bit redder.
But they're both really vibrant, really beautiful colors. They're on the top tier for making a beautiful paprika. This is not supposed to have a lot of spice to it, but it did have a little in our taste test. So it's mild, like a hatch pepper, chili pepper.
Yeah, so it's bred by the same breeder, I'm thinking, as a lot of the hatch.
Yeah, it was made by New Mexico State
Yep.
University in 1980s. Not the spice, but there is a punch of flavor for that. But it's not as sweet as our Hungarians.
Yeah. That's pretty. I'm starting to get a little bit of spice. It's growing here at the end. At first I was like, there's no spice at all. Now I'm getting hit with the spice. But it's a spice.
It's a mild spice. It's kind of in here. It's there, and then it's kind of gone.
But it doesn't have the depth of flavor as the Hungarian ones do.
No, or the Leutschauer. I'm going to say all these wrong.
Yeah.
But
nowhere near the depth of flavor as the Utri or the Leutschauer.
Or the Kapia.
Or the Kapia. Well.
Okay.
So that's down there at a.
I'd probably put that 3.5. It's good.
Okay.
Again, that color is such an important part of being a paprika. And the flavor is not bad, but I do like that sweet richness that some of the others have.
Yes, the others have something more. So that's...
All right, so competing with that, this is the Szegedi 179. And vibrant red. It was our darkest red, fresh. I think this is one right here. And it held that red color really well. What else do I need to know about this one?
So, where did it go? Okay, just medium heat and rich and fruity, another Hungarian pepper.
Okay. So medium heat.
Rich and fruity, that's what it says. Okay.
It does not have for me the burn that some of the others had, but it has a really rich flavor.
It has a rich flavor. I would say it's second tier to the Utri and Leutschauer and Kapia, though.
It's a little more fleeting, the flavor on them. But the color is really good.
So, to me, that's 4-ish.
4-ish? Okay.
What would you say?
I think 4 is fair. It does have those undertones. It's not popping quite the same way as the other ones.
It doesn't have the richness of the other ones. Not bad by any stretch. I mean, still a 4. But not...
I still think you're going to like this one best. So.
Oh, probably. We'll save the best for last, or we'll save the one I got to run off screen coughing and thinking I'm having a heart attack for last.
Okay.
So, Kalocsa.
Kalocsa. What do I know about this one? I forget.
So Kalocsa, another one from Hungary, little to no heat.
Okay. You'll like that.
Rich paprika flavor is the description.
All right, so this would be a sweet paprika flavor. Let's try it.
So as I look at this one, it almost looks like it didn't grind into fine powder. Looks fairly chunky.
We had some difficulties with our grinder too. We cracked the little bowl in there, and we may have to replace that after this adventure.
Well, we've used it for 5 years for a lot of powder, so 5 years for something that we use frequently is
So some of them
probably
are not
sufficient life.
quite as finely ground as I would normally do.
But I like that as another one that's really rich, very flavorful, no heat.
No heat, but it's not lacking.
But it's got all the depth
flavor
of the flavors.
Yeah,
that's really good.
That's really good. I probably prefer just a little spice in mine, which throws off my count. But for a sweet paprika,
but for a sweet one,
it's between that one and Kapia. I would have to try Kapia again.
I'm saying that's another 5 for flavor.
Okay.
Just it's got to be in its own category. If you want it to compete against the spicy in a spicy category, it doesn't have any.
Yeah.
But that's really good. That's really, really good. Okay,
right.
Are we down to the last one?
We're down to your favorite one.
Okay, Kardoula, aka.
They're only supposed to be about as hot as a jalapeno.
Yeah.
So,
and jalapenos don't normally bother me.
And they don't. But you got.
But if you haven't watched the fresh flavor video
on the paprikas,
the first bite didn't do anything. The second bite, I thought I was having a heart attack. So.
Okay, so they're small. They're a lot like the Aleppo peppers. I didn't have enough Aleppos to dry for this occasion, so that'll have to be another taste test. But they're similar in size, supposedly similar in flavor. They're supposed to be a raisin-like sweetness, but about a jalapeno level heat. And I will tell you that when I was cutting all of these to put them on the dehydrator, and we taste tested them all, and I was fine. And Stephen walked by and he's like, "You want some gloves?" And I said,
I was trying to be kind. I know we've been through this before.
I know we did. And I was like, "No, I'm fine. They're not hot peppers." And after cutting them all up and putting them on the trays, my hands did begin to burn. And some of these are hot.
And I never did say I told you so.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay.
Okay.
So Kardoula. Where's it from?
Kardoula, Turkey.
Turkey.
Turkey is what this one says.
It has kind of a slow burn on the backside, but it's not hitting me with the fruity flavors like some of the other ones had.
Yeah, the heat's slowly coming.
Slowly coming through.
It doesn't have to me, it doesn't have near the flavor of some of the others.
Yeah.
It was the second bite that got me the last time, so I might regret
try
this.
again. Try a second bite. Let's see if it gets you. It's not as strong.
It's not as strong, but it's still an okay flavor.
It has a good flavor. It's not.
The heat is
building. The heat is building. It's not as hot as it was fresh. Mixed with mayonnaise helps a lot. But probably I would put that one back at a 4.
Yeah.
Put that one back at a 4.
Yeah, overall flavor, I put that as a 4.
Okay. So looking at our rankings, who did the best?
So
what are our 5 pluses? So
the 5 are 5 pluses. And so I don't have these grouped by sweet or not, but Kapia, we were like, yeah,
I'm going to go back to that one.
For a no heat one.
I'll try that one just again, because that was the first one we tried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even after tasting all of these.
That's really good.
That's really good. All right.
So
that remains a 5.
I'll put the little plus.
5 plus by that one.
So our 5 pluses, Kapia.
Okay.
As a no heat one. Utri, It seems to be mildly spicy.
Try it again.
Medium heat.
That. Okay, if you like any spice at all in your paprika, that's fantastic. It has all the flavor that Kapia has and adds just a little sizzle.
Zing, yeah.
That's really good.
Man, that's good.
I know. I need a sandwich.
Yeah. Leutschauer.
Okay.
Another one that we said was a 5 plus. This is just a little bit of spice.
Hotter than the Utri. So that one is closer to like a Chipotle level heat for me. So Kapia, probably my winner for no heat. Utri for a little
medium
sizzle.
Heat.
Leutschauer if you wanted something a little bit spicier.
Yeah. So those were the 5 pluses. 5s was Kalocsa and Black Hungarian.
Oh, let's grab those. This is Black Hungarian.
I would never expect that there's that much different in
I know.
flavors.
That was good.
Man, that's really good.
That's really good. Okay, and the Kalocsa, is that this one?
Mm-hmm.
All of them have that really rich flavor. It's coming through the mayonnaise.
So if I was to do any adjustments, I'd move the Black Hungarian to a 5 plus and Kalocsa as a regular 5. Mm-hmm. So those were the amazing ones. The ones that were scored quite a bit lower. If I go to the 2s and 3s, Apple Crisp, amazing fresh. It is not one that...
It didn't translate to Great Paprika. No. That was probably the biggest shift down. And I was surprised at the Kardoula that had such a powerful impact on you fresh. It was kind of underwhelming. Yeah. For overall.
Next one that would be fairly low rated, I guess the NuMex R Naky. And the hatch peppers, in all fairness, seem to be best for roasting. And maybe that one would be better roasted, but it smoked. That didn't do anything for me. Then the Tennessee cheese, beautiful pepper.
It was excellent, fresh.
Delicious fresh. It
wasn't a standout. I mean, they're all good.
Through.
They're all better than you could get at some places.
No.
Yeah, but I can taste the mayonnaise over that, so it's not a strong enough flavor to pull through it like some of these other ones are.
Yeah, kind of in the middle of the pack, the Szegedi. Mm-hmm. Hungarian Boldog was 4.75, so that was towards the higher end. Kardoula, and Gypsy. So and lipstick. So if we were to narrow this down to just 3 or 4, I think it would be very easy to do.
All right. So in terms of they grew well, they produced well, they tasted good, what are the 4 that we're bringing back for next year? Utri.
Yeah, say Utri definitely. Leutschauer definitely.
Kalocsa.
Yep.
And Black Hungarian.
Yep.
And Black Hungarian. Those are
and
our
Kapia.
winners. And Kapia.
Yep.
Keep us here long enough.
We've got a home for all of them somewhere. So, and some of them we'll just we'll let those go. But wow, I was not sure what we were going to expect today, but that was really good, really delicious, some really good options here.
All right.
So, anything else we want to cover before we wrap up? I am looking forward to trying this again next year, and I'm curious what else we can find. If you got any other recommendations, please post those down in the comments.
Yeah, and that was great. And I'm going to go make a sandwich, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.